Carol and welcome to Over 50 So What? From my home to yours. Now I had a bit of a laugh this week. Someone had a 60th birthday and they said that the 60 is the new 40 but 9 o'clock is the new midnight. Now as we get older we do get a bit more concerned about falls, and falls becomes an increasing risk. Today we have an expert on falls prevention, Sally Castell, who's going to share with us some tips to keep us safe. Now, when it comes to falls and prevention, the last thing you'd be thinking of is taking up ice skating. Ice skating is great for balance. And today we're going to meet two people from the Silver Blades. They took up ice skating later in life, and some of their members are ice skating into their 80s. So we're going to meet the Silver Blades, and don't forget, after the break we've got our fitness routine. Hi everyone. Falling inside or outside the home becomes an increasing risk as we get older. And I know myself, I had a very nasty fall 6 years ago. I slipped over on a road and fortunately I didn't break my hip, but I did fracture my skull and smash my cheek in, which meant I needed a facial reconstruction. Our bones become more brittle as we get older, so it's really important to look at how we can minimize this risk. And today we have an expert on falls prevention, Sally Castell. Sally is an exercise specialist for older adults, a physiotherapist and a recreational therapist. She has spent years doing research and education on falls prevention, and her commitment to falls prevention resulted in her being awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award for the ANZ Falls Prevention Network. So if we want to know about falls prevention, let's meet the expert, Sally Castell from Movement Matters. Hi Sally, welcome to Over 50 So What? Great to have you on the show.
Pleasure to be invited, thank you very much.
Now we're talking about falls prevention today, and as we become older, this becomes more and more concerning. From my own experience, I've had 3 friends in their 60s. 2 fell on the beach in the sand and 1 in the snow. And all 3 of them ended up with fractures. As we're getting older, our bones are getting more brittle, so even falling on something as soft as sand or snow, you can still end up with a fracture.
True.
Sally, with your expertise in this, how big is the issue of falls in Australia?
Huge one. There's so much research going on with falls prevention. I mean, the stuff that's going out is basically they're saying that 1 in 3 people over the age of 60 is going to have a fall, and that can recur. Once they've started doing a few trips, it can happen more and more. So the problem with falls is that, yes, you can fall over and stand up again, but some people don't, and they can injure themselves, and then their lifestyle changes. So it is a major problem.
I've just mentioned people falling outside the home, but a lot of people fall inside the home. What's the percentage of falls happening within people's homes?
50%. It's quite a high percentage, and I don't think people realise that. And the major places where they fall is the bathroom, the bedroom and the kitchen, really. And if you think about it, these are areas where there can be quite a bit of clutter, or the surface can be quite slippy, or all those sort of things that is daily sort of things that you do around the house that you don't realise that there can be a trip hazard just because they're there in the way and your foot catches it. So it's a major problem.
Well, with more of us being stuck in isolation at home, that's going to be more time spent at home. That's also going to raise the number of falls happening in the home.
Totally agree. And I think from the point of view of falls in the home, we've said people over 60, but it's people later in life, I mean in their 70s or 80s, who haven't got the physical ability to do things, that if they fall over, they can't get up. And that's quite frightening. And that's what's a very scary thing, is that people don't want to fall over because they think if they fall at home, they're not going to be able to get up again. And some of them won't. And then they've got to call the ambulance, or they can be left on their own for a very long time on the floor. So it's a real problem.
So what are the top 3 reasons that people fall over at home?
Tripping, slipping, and skidding around, really. They're tripping, as I say, a lot of it is a lot of clutter. And if you're moving around and can't pick your feet up, or you're not moving well, anything that's in the way of the foot cause a problem. But also, as I say, if you look at the kitchen, or if you look at the bathroom, the floors are very slippery and can be very wet. So that's, again, if you can't control your body well, you can slip and you'll be on the floor before you know it.
And tripping on mats and things like that is...
Yeah, that is a big thing. But a lot of people with mats and all those sort of soft edges, they don't realise that that's a problem, and they don't sort of seal the edges up properly, so they can trip over them. So the important thing to think about here is that people pick up their rugs, seal the carpet down so that they don't trip over them.
From a physical point of view, which muscles can we work on to help prevent us having falls in the future?
It's a much more complex thing trying to improve your balance, but the fundamental movements are, if you think about all the muscles from the waist downwards, they are the ones that you really need to work, because that controls your body in space to a large degree. So if you're thinking about your muscle groups, you're thinking about your buttock muscles and your stomach muscles. Those are 2 very important ones. And then if you look at the muscles at the front of the thigh and the back of the thigh, they're called the quadriceps and the hamstrings. They need to be kept strong to stabilize your knee. And then if you go a little bit further down, the muscles in the calf and the muscles in the shin need to work, because they are the ones that are going to project you forward, make you walk properly, lift your feet up. So if you can work on strengthening those muscles, that's a good foundation to start off with.
All right, excellent. Well, we do lots of exercises like that on this show, the strengthening the lower body, so that should all help.
Good. The important thing is as you get older, you're more prone to it. I mean, you're saying the 50s and 60s, they're less likely to fall than the older ones. So we've just got to alert the older people that they need to exercise as much as ever as well.
To finish off with, what would be your 5 strategies for our viewers today to help them prevent falls in the future? One
of them is one important one is really be aware of yourself. And if you're aware of yourself, be alert of what you're doing all the time. That's a very important one. 2 is another big one that I say is pick up your feet and pick up your legs and keep moving. And be very, very aware of the environment that you're walking in, not just at home, outside as well. So if you're with a friend and you are not quite so good on your feet, for goodness sake, concentrate on where you're walking and what you're doing rather than what you're saying to your friend, because that can distract you and you could be on the floor before you know it. So pick up your feet, stay alert, stay aware. Most important things I think you need to think about with balance, and keep exercising.
Sally, thank you so much for being on the show today and sharing your expertise with us. I'm sure if the viewers follow your advice, follow some of those tips and strategies, that'll help get the Australian statistics down in the future.
Pleasure.
Thanks for watching our TV show. Be sure to hit subscribe and we'll send you the latest TV episodes and videos. Like our Facebook page and please send us your comments, your stories and any inspiring people that you know. Over 50, so what?